Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And today, the map we're going to be exploring, is GM Downtown Winter. A winter map set actually during the Combine occupation in the Half-Life 2 universe. And quite clearly, much like City 17, another Eastern European city. Oh, but look at this. Did you hear that? Oh, that was kind of a weird sound, like a creaking of metal, but almost sort of musical. But yeah, not only is it an atmospheric winter map, which is for some reason kind of a rarity in Gary's Mod for how cozy I find winter to be, but it's also kind of rare to do it in an urban setting like this. I think the only other map I've seen that did this was GM Isolation, or RP Isolation. But looking at these textures, you can actually see just how different winter can feel. I mean, placing it in a city like this, lights on, but totally dead. It gives the feeling, not of abandonment, but rather just that everyone's warm inside by the stove. Under Combine occupation, I can't imagine there's electric or gas heating, so probably just burning whatever books may still be around. But look at this. There's so much custom work going on here. Look, we can see that the windows and windshield of the car are actually caked in snow. There's some layered onto the top. That is so cool. In VR, it almost looks so crunchy, I feel like I can reach out and brush it off. While I don't get the impression that this is an apocalyptic setting, well, I suppose that depends on what you consider to be an apocalypse. And the fact that this is a city under occupation is very much apparent, even if there is no one around. It's like I can hear the metal of that thing twisting in the changing temperature. Actually, looking around at this, the architecture of the buildings, the slowly falling snow, the occasional lights overhead, it sort of reminds me of those adaptations I used to watch of Charles Dickens stories from the library. But let's start looking around. Oh, now what do these M's mean? Maybe for metro? Are there subway entrances here? Ah, yes, that's actually exactly what this is. Okay, so there is an underground to check out. Huh. Wouldn't be a video on this channel without it, would it? And it looks like we can maybe go inside here? Oh, look. All the dining tables still left out, but certainly not in use and weirdly juxtaposed against the sandbag emplacements and barbed wire. Even if this is all still here, it's only because no one's bothered to touch it. I don't think this stuff has been used in a long time. Actually, even though there is some sci-fi technology here, and the Citadel certainly, I have to wonder if this isn't maybe the early days of the occupation. I mean, if they're still using, for the most part, these very, well, human and primitive barriers? For some reason I wanted to say barifications. Oh, check this out. As we close the door, the sounds of the snowstorm outside fade to just a light background ambiance. This place left in total disarray in the dark. And it's weird. I can almost imagine this as like a lively place at one time. Coming in here, having it be so cozy, stepping down, hanging out with friends after work. Feeling the chill whenever the door opens and everyone cheering as another friend walks in. But that's all memories now, things that happened long ago, and you can still feel the energy in the space, but who knows if any of the people who actually experienced it firsthand are even still alive, or where they are now. Okay, you guys are really gonna have to let me through here, thank you. Bathroom in the back. But it seems like that's all there is to this. Oh, look at that. I mean, if we just ignore these lights right here, just that dull blue light of the current reality fading into the former one. From this angle, it actually seems like maybe these barriers aren't being stored here, but were actually left by the former owners and patrons in the hope that all this would someday blow over and they'd be able to come back and find it just like it was. Unfortunately, given the enormity of this disaster, very little hope of that ever happening. It is so annoying to walk through tables and chairs in this. That's something that I feel like the Half-Life games never really had the time to address much. But Half-Life Alyx actually did a little bit more than the standard games. There was never much walking through a place and actually thinking about what it once was, what it meant to the people who came before, and, well, with some optimism, what it maybe could be again. Then again, with Source 2, Half-Life Alyx was able to have much more imagination in that regard. Ooh. Then again, maybe there is still some form of active resistance. Or maybe what we're seeing is that resistance being squashed. It almost seems like this map is emulating something that I've always found really, really interesting about the world design in Half-Life 2 and Half-Life Alyx. Basically, the way the Combine works is that they come in and they sort of concentrate everything they want and ignore everything they don't want, even within the cities. And so you'll have things that look like these massive sci-fi super projects, and then right beneath it you'll have things like this. You'll have sort of well-kept areas where people are meant to live, and then places right down the block that are left totally in ruin. You'll have massive infrastructure projects that they built, and then things off to the sides of that where just alien life forms are left to grow and multiply and infest. And so, under Combine occupation, it's almost like all of Earth becomes a life support system where a majority of the systems have been deprecated because a majority of the systems no longer need life. They've only decided to keep alive the few things that they need, and totally neglected the things they don't. And so it's like parts of the world are more futuristic than ever, and other parts are just rotting. Oh, what is this? I wonder if we can get down there. Actually, look at how high those drains are. It's like this whole thing was full almost to the top with water at one point, but it's just been allowed to completely drain. Sort of like how the water levels in the outskirts of City 17 were once much higher. I'm actually not sure if this is meant to be City 17. I'm not super well versed in my Half-Life lore, but was there only one citadel, or was there one in every single city? In any case, this is definitely one of those maps where all the detail works together to make me really feel the chill. I can feel the snowdrops landing in my hands and melting. I can feel the breeze helped along not only by the sound, but by the flags blowing. And for some reason, even though it's totally illogical, I feel like when I stand underneath these orange streetlights, I'll be able to feel some kind of warmth. Of course, that doesn't make sense figuratively or literally. Oh, but it looks like we can enter this place right here. As before, lots and lots of barricades put up, but this feels more like something, again, put up by the former owners rather than the Combine. Oh, look, we've got the whole false ceiling totally fallen away, leaving exposed cables running low over the ceiling. Got this whole place left in disarray. A reminder, unlike the bar, of the end rather than just before the end. That was weird. You saw that, right? Some real weird reflections coming off of this door at just the right angle. Can we open it? It seems Sometimes it seems almost like there's a gap there. I'm only now recognizing how weird it is that my commentary brain just kind of stopped as soon as I walked in here. Like when the ambiance changes, it's like my brain wants to shift gears. Like when the wind goes away, I go into threat mode. But yeah, I am really impressed with some of the work that's being done here. I mean, these have got to be original or at least slightly retextured models, right? Maybe ripped from something, but still. And look, all this concrete piled up against this. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Didn't know that would happen. Actually, looking at the ribs in this wall, it's kind of like it's deployable. Like they just shot it down from space and it landed here and caused all this destruction while it was unfolding. And for all I know, that's exactly how it works. But the message is quite clear. Keep out. Whatever's down here is its own world, and whatever's in there is another. God. Okay, these are definitely new models as well. Oh, now what is this? Yep, no way through there either. This looks like some kind of town square. And maybe this is some kind of city hall? It bears the markings of the Combine. So perhaps we can enter? It looks 3D, yes. This must be their sort of regional command center. Now this is a GM, but seems like it would be ripe for RP. Hang on, wait. I only just recently, thanks to Matthew, figured out how I could use the secondary. Wait, was it, oh right, we don't have the, there we go. But that does not cause these things to collapse. Okay, what happens if I... There we go. But it doesn't seem to have done anything. So let's just start pushing buttons. That seems like a good next step. No? Maybe some kind of elevator? Well, I guess we're finding out now. Why is it getting darker? Where did we end up? Oh, there's actually space above this grate. Well, that's gonna give me paranoia that there's gonna be something lying on top, waiting to swing its long arms down and snatch me up. It's actually a real disorienting feeling being completely enclosed in that elevator and having no idea if I just went up or down. Down is a strong bet. What about over here? Can I interact with this panel? Ooh, I actually can! What is this? Whole racks of these people pods. Oh, this is a train! This is actually some kind of, like, rail station. From the look of it, something meant to transport people out of the city and closer to the Citadel. Okay, I just heard a really weird sound coming from over here, and I didn't like it. Can we open this door? Well, apparently I can't. Oh, this is creepy. It's hidden away where people won't even know that this whole infrastructure exists. You know, I watched a video about a year back called How Bad is the Combine? And you know, with all the running around and action and our very limited perspective, within the Half-Life games, or at least Half-Life 2, we never really get a good look at what life in the occupation is like. But this video really dives into the details, and it is so much more disturbing than you would get even more than a glimpse at through the games themselves. It's almost like they've carved directly through the basement of some building just to build this. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. They don't care about prettying things up. If there's no reason for them to seal this off, they just won't bother. And it results in a lot of structures that make perfect sense from that zeros and ones perspective, but to humans just appears nonsensical. And it's one of those many ways where they actually make themselves seem so inhuman, even as they present in the form of overseers like Wallace Breen, in enforcers like the Combine. It actually cuts straight into a regular old metro station, following just parallel to these original tracks. And wow, look at that! We can actually see down into the inner workings of the train carriages. Oh, this is so cool. This is also, frankly, so much nicer than the New York City subway system. And even down here, those sounds that I had assumed to be metal twisting in the breeze can still periodically be heard. That's really weird, and it's making me wonder if I'm not maybe being, like, followed by something. There's just something about a subway car that's just been sitting in station unmoved for who knows how long. There's something about seeing a rusting metal wreck that you know was once this loud, roaring thing that's just been silent for all these years. It's almost like when you walk through these places, you can hear the echo of the sounds that once filled the chamber. Are we going a little deeper still? I can't read any of this, but this is some real interesting info on the wall. Ooh, that's like fully animated and everything. And so much intricate detail. Oh, it connects onto the sewer. I would bet that everything down here probably comes out onto that area we saw from above, right? The area where the water level is so much lower than usual. I mean, clearly it's expected to come at least up to this concrete lip right here. I'm going to check that out, of course, but first I'm kind of curious. Is there actually another way out of here? Or is this whole thing actually sealed down here by the Combine's construction? Another thing that's always really interesting to me about Half-Life world design is the inconsistent application of power. Some places are left totally in the dark, while others, long abandoned, inexplicably still have lights on. And it's because of the Combine powering and unpowering various systems, tapping into existing ones and ignoring others. I can't see much down here. Why is my flashlight mod not working? Oh, you know what? I think I disabled it because I was messing around with advanced camera. Alright, well, I don't want to restart this while I'm down here and have to cheat my way back and maybe get spoilers along the way, so, I guess the safety Glock will just have to keep me company for now. Or I could always spawn the lantern. First off, is there anything to see down here? No. We can hear the echo of water dripping in distant caverns, but it doesn't look like we can actually get through here. Okay, so let's climb up on this side. Now here's a sight I hadn't seen before, or even conceived of. A sewer full, but frozen. Now that is interesting, and the way these lights are on, it casts that bluish-white glow over the entire room. I've seen moments where even a couple of streetlights in a blizzard, in a snowstorm, can make night look like day. But it's really interesting to see the same effect underground. Oh, there's that damp mist hanging in the air. And this, I bet, yes, this is where that was. Hello, cozy little spot at the bottom of the river. Oh, this looks like some kind of, control station. Now this is a nice spot to work. Imagine you're just sitting here on New Year's Eve, just chilling in your heated little booth, watching the snow fall outside. I'll tell you something, this may be a dingy little workplace, but when I saw this place from outside, I had a memory come screaming back. Not really a memory, more of a memory of a thought. As a kid, if you asked me to conjure an image of something that's comfy, I would probably imagine something like this: a snowy night in, I suppose the city from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and lights on in one little store in a little cranny in a huge concrete wall, and maybe this store sells like ice cream or candy or toys or something. And when it's cold, the owner doesn't mind you walking in and just kind of sitting on the carpeted floor in the warmth. Now, previous bad experiences with the long dark aside, I'm going to go ahead and assume that I can walk on this. There we go. Ooh. Oh, it's actually slippery. Oh, that is so cool. We're ice skating in shoes. But is there anywhere for us to actually go from here? Probably not. But look, if we move fast enough, we can build up some momentum and slide gently into the wall. I haven't been ice skating in so many years. This is kind of reminding me of it. I was never any good, but it was still fun. I've spent the last few minutes just kind of skating around here some more because I'm a child. And honestly, look at this. It's our own hidden away little spot deep in the ground. Only one way in, really, and that's through a complex network of underground tunnels. We can have all the fun we want just down here. One warm little corner for us to go in and have some hot chocolate. I swear I've had dreams like this. Yep, but it's time to leave. And see what else is around here. Now, we find ourselves actually on the other side of where we were before, which means that this is all uncharted territory. You know, it's weird. It's like you go underground from the horrifying imagery of the people car, and then you just kind of have that mood whiplash where you're having fun ice skating, only a few chambers away. But I do believe we've looped ourselves back around to where we first came from. What we just did might be the most fun anyone's had or is going to have in this city for a long time. But since we were so rudely abducted by that elevator, maybe we should check out the upper floors of this town hall. Stairs are clipped! Stairs are clipped! But yeah, it doesn't seem like we're getting into here. They definitely don't want us seeing the mayor. But maybe we can... Oh, never mind! Mayor's office is in here! Cool! Oh, what a humble mayor. Doesn't even need security on his door. I'm going to trash your office now, because that's what you get for not having security. Since you're not here, I hope you don't mind if I just sit here and, I was going to put my feet up on the desk, but instead I'll just leave a mess for you to deal with. How about that? No! I'm having entirely too much fun with the physics in VR. I had to cut it for time reasons, but Dr. Breen said I could take this. Now, what else do we have out here? Yeah, as expected, this little town square is actually the center of its own barricade. The doors may be open, but under normal circumstances, nobody's supposed to be able to come through here. And look, this wall must actually be a fairly recent deployment. I'm going back to my earlier theory that maybe this is the opening days of the occupation, or at least the first harsh winter since all of this came here. Oh, but can we actually get through that alleyway? No, there's nothing to see there anyway. Dangling in the breeze, everything disconnected. It really is like the Combine just came in and inserted themselves in the middle of everything, with no care for actual integration, only haphazardly done where it's needed. Almost like their whole intervention in this planet is like some kind of invasive medical procedure. Which, actually, if you look into the lore, that is sort of how they see it. Now this looks like the remains of some kind of like substation or something, but a lot of the equipment... Oh, there it is near the back. I was going to say, it looked like a lot of the equipment had been removed, maybe repurposed for their own uses. That is a huge bus. May we get on it? No, sadly. I wonder what's through this shadowy little alley. I'm not worried about crime, because if anybody jumps me, I can just brain him with the mayor. Nothing much, it looks like, and if my mental map is correct, going through here... Oh no, there's actually a bit more to this. That's the thing, this is really actually partly through the use of this winter managed to convey just how much this place has fallen. I feel like it really gives the impression that the people aren't gone, but they have completely lost the will to fight. Like, for now, they are well and truly broken. And if this really is early in the occupation, well, it'll be another 20 years before anything significant happens in that regard. Oh, okay, there's a ladder here. Maybe we can climb up on the roof and get a better view? Yep. There we go. It's always the first thing you see whenever you go anywhere, huh? Oh, look, we can see the snow-covered rooftops. Look at that skybox. From here, we can see that our little corner of the town is intact, but mountains in the back and absolute ruins in the distance. Suggesting that anyone remaining in this city has been probably corralled into this little section, the layers of walls keeping us in here, as well as from getting closer to the center. And it looks like maybe that building down there might be enterable. Oh, look, that old building covered in snow with the one lamp in front of it falling on a snowy car below. All of this is just... not comfy, but comfy adjacent. That's what's so cool about combining it with the Half-Life imagery. Okay, Mr. Mayor, I'm not carrying you down the ladder, so... Yep. Oh, that's good you fell out of the tree. I was worried we were going to have to get the fire department. That may have been the smoothest ladder descent I've ever had. Sorry, Mr. Mayor. It's me, the mayor. You're delinquent in your taxes. Just kidding, it's me. Oh, we actually can't open the door while we're holding you. Yep. Alright, you can sit this one out, right? Oh. Oh, it's the power plant. And from the look of it, it's been taken over, but not necessarily well maintained. I feel unsafe even being around these noises. Let me through. But this door is locked. Well, this is what powers all of it. Yep. But we can always do that. Alright, gravity gun. Yeah, just shoot you out. Shoot you out. Hope that I'll be fine. But if you end up back in there by any chance, then you'll be totally out. Oh my god, it was like flubber. But it doesn't actually seem to do anything. Oh, there's even a keypad where we can lock and unlock the door. Man, what kind of city are you even running? Whoops, I was trying to pick you up. I did not know that prop was destructible. nobody saw anything. I mean, I suppose it does involve a lot of work with, like, displacements and custom assets. I mean, there isn't a whole lot regarding snow in the default Half-Life assets. But when they go the extra mile, it results in something that really makes you feel, especially in VR, like you want to go over and warm your hands by the fire. So if we were to go down to this metro station, I only just remembered that this was here. What do we actually see? Oh, the shop's closed up, or actually, presumably, these would be the stairs leading down into the metro itself. So it's meant to be all sealed away, now the only actual entrance being through the basement of City Hall. Oh, this is in English. Attention citizens. From January 12th, 2002 Earth time, the network of underground railways becomes a regime object of the Universal Union. Entering this area will be punishable by death. Well, I didn't see any cops around. Alright, well, time for our no-clip run. Okay, so that kind of jump-scared me. I didn't expect there to be something down below, and then I remembered there's a lot down below. Look at those lights. What is that? That actually looks like what was reflecting off of the door in the one place. Oh, it was these things. These bright Combine lights in the underground. That is so cool. And so weird that they were having such an effect on the grocery store. Okay, what else? Is there anything else to see underground? It looks like there's something over there. Hello, and something crazy over there. What is that? Wow, what a massive amount of effort put into this creator room. Oh, it's even snowing in here. Spawn military barricades on road, remove military barricades. Oh, look! We can control all kinds of different things. Disable smoke can't be re-enabled. Disable snow can't be re-enabled. Respawn physics props. Enable and disable music. This is so cool. Enable, disable additional ambient. Oh, this is so cool. And look, the way the lights are done in here, even with the depth textures, it's such like a cozy space. Look, the very top is even untextured, so we just see straight up into the skybox. This whole place has got that same dark bluish hue that the rest of the map does. And with the snow only falling in the middle, I almost feel like I could grab a sleeping bag and cuddle up on this railing up here. So that was GM Winter Downtown. Sorry if I got it reversed in the intro. And more than anything, I just find this so weirdly nostalgic. I mean, I've never seen architecture like this in person, and yet somehow this just feels like what I remember wintertime feeling like when I was a small kid. And it's kind of interesting to me. I know there's not too many of these to choose from, but from the small sample size that I have, the way the snow itself is done actually changes how the map presents. This one, for example, is more of a frosting than a heavy snow. We can see the ground through all of this. It's caked onto the windows of the cars and on the roof. We can see it coming down in the streetlights. We're not in an abandoned area. It's just a place where it's so cold everyone's turned in. And it all just feels kind of depressed. Almost similar to like Cry of Fear in a way, which to me just feels like more comfy in this setting. Contrast with something like RP Isolation, where the snow is very smooth and piled very deep, but the map itself is more apocalyptic. Houses burned down, lights all out, places destroyed, bodies everywhere. And it almost weirdly came across how much more silent the world was in that. I mean, there was still that wind, sure, but somehow through that thicker snow, you could actually feel how much more muted the ambiance was. It was a much creepier and scarier setting, even while more closely emulating that winter wonderland feel. It's just such an underutilized setting, and I feel like there's so much that can be expressed in this way. And this was a really cool map to explore, especially down below. How it combines that sort of Charles Dickens-like setting, winter by candlelight, or by lamplight, I suppose in this case, with this sci-fi occupation from a foreign power. Not to mention all the little joys that come inherent with the weather. But I do intend on doing 2 maps in this video, so on to the next one. Sounds like there's a thunderstorm coming. Welcome now to GM Hood Corner. No combine occupation here, just a rundown slum of a suburban town, where we can look in one direction and see all these closed, abandoned industrial spaces, and turn around and see the housing just behind us. This is definitely the kind of ambiance I'm more familiar with. And while this isn't the kind of place I would probably feel safe standing all alone at night, I have to say it definitely fits my idea of creepy and comfy. I mean, we're in a sort of densely populated area, although still all alone because everyone's turned in for the night, standing all alone on a well-lit rail platform looking off into the darkness down the tracks, motes of dust suspended under the lamp beside us. And right behind us, a sort of dark and dreary-looking suburban landscape, but with lights on in the windows to let us know that there are people here. It's just a leisurely stroll, where we maybe don't want to step too much into the shadows. Let's try and do our best to fit in. Now, even though everyone may be inside, even though we can't see everyone, the sounds certainly continue with the sounds of distant traffic, a storm rolling in, helicopters in the sky. You know, I came in here thinking that this would be reminding me of certain neighborhoods of, like, Queens or Nassau County. But there's sort of a weird contradiction going on here where it's seemingly an urban area. What is that? Who are you? I don't think you're coming any closer, so I'm just gonna keep my eyes down and keep walking. But look, we've got big, like, apartment buildings like that, industrial warehouses like this, and yet all these houses are, like, single family and so spaced apart. It's almost like the dreams I used to have as a kid of being left alone to wander the city streets at night, unable to find my way back home. And now I'm thinking about sheep in the big city. I don't know if that's relevant, it's just a memory that came screaming back and slapped into the back of my skull. It looks like somebody's in the process of robbing this underground parking garage, which means we should probably get going before they come back, but that means we're going to have to go see whatever that dark shadow was down the road. Oh, it's a fire hydrant surrounded by 2 bollards, or whatever they're called. Oh man, I honestly thought from a distance that was like some shadowy person just standing there in the middle of the road. Best case scenario, I would hope that it's some ghost coming back to haunt whoever stole some ancient artifact that's living in that house. Something I always think about when I'm going for walks in a residential area at night is look at the lights on in these houses. It just makes it that much more clear that each one of these is almost like its self-contained little world. One family or group of roommates. And those lights indicate that that world is at play right now, and you're just standing out in the dark on the periphery of it. Something I always think about is what it would be like for the people outside who look out and see me standing here. Maybe a lot like what I perceived that to be. Or maybe everybody else doesn't have, like, some kind of ridiculous level of paranoia to the point of mental illness, I don't know. But in an area like this, it's different. I mean, this is like a little bit like what my hometown is like, where I no longer live. And it's a lot more walkable than here, but it also becomes a lot more like this at night. It's one thing to be walking amongst houses where you don't expect to see people. It's another thing entirely to be walking in front of all these closed-down storefronts and such. And here, despite the sparseness of those houses, it seems like we are starting to become more of a true urban setting. Let's just see what's down this alleyway. This lantern will let people know not to mess with me. Dead end. But a nice amount of detail. We've got these electrical panels on the wall, seemingly already broken into and haphazardly repaired. Doorways that actually do protrude from their wall. Let's see what's going on next door. Yep, just this creepy little lot. You know, oddly enough, it really does capture that nighttime vibe. I often experience this when we were wrapping up after shooting a show, where you have the one light on the other side of the light that just kind of dimly falls off along an opposite brick wall. It's kind of got that everyone's gone home and now's when the weird stuff happens vibe. Can we cross this bridge? No. It looks like everyone's conspired to roadblock as many ways through the city as they possibly can. Oh no, this alley is truly dark. That's something interesting. I don't think we'll be able to climb this, will we? Nope. And we won't be able to get through this gate either. I just hate walking down these alleyways and finding out that they're a dead end. Makes it feel like I'm going to turn around and something's going to be there. I gotta say, I'm walking around here and it's kind of disconcerting how true to life this feels. It almost feels like I'm streaming from my phone rather than recording VR video, like I'm actually here. And I know I'm sort of like predisposed to feel that way from a map like this or GM Nightlight because the settings are so familiar. But I mean, look, there's so many details that help sell it. We've got the newsstands here and these little dirt patches with the plants and trees growing out of them, the graffiti on every available surface. I don't know, it's all these little details that come together. And I've talked about this before, but I think it's those little details that do far more than the overall setting to convince your brain that you are in this place. It's always the little things that your brain sort of attaches to as a shorthand for I am in this setting. And of course, if you were in this setting, a lot of people probably wouldn't be too happy with you if you just like walked onto their commercial property in the middle of the night, but we're not going to worry about that. We'll be long gone before the cops arrive. And it's not like they'll respond in any less than like 20 or 30 minutes anyway. But it seems like we've reached more or less the end of the industrial area. And we're now getting into more residential. Oh, there's like actually even more neighborhood down there. I don't know, there's just something about the way the lighting is done on this map that feels so realistic. The way these distant streetlights fall onto the opposing brick and sheet metal surfaces that looks so real. Is there anything in amongst these houses at all? Oh, we can actually go into this one. Ooh, it's got a basement and everything. But it does appear to be quite run down. Got a nice little kitchen here. Can we go out the back? Oh, all custom doors and everything. They've got their own little patio. A place like this probably still very expensive for how run down it is. What happens if we go explore the basement? Let's go explore the basement. Ooh, it is quite dark down here. And here's where we keep the boiler. But this door actually goes right out onto here. You know, this is actually, with some fixing up, this is not a bad place to live. You've got a decent section of property right here, assuming that this is all yours. Assuming that this whole area is considered your sort of yard, I'd say this is a pretty good deal. I mean, you've got 3 floors to yourself. You fix up the basement, turn that into something, keep that as a kitchen. Plenty of room to entertain guests over here. And then presumably, like, bedrooms and such upstairs, right? Yeah. And its own bathroom. Nice, spacious shower. Honestly, kind of too spacious. Like, you could probably condense this down a fair bit. But yeah, just a little bit of work, and this place is nice. I may or may not be totally sick of living at home, and may or may not have been obsessively looking at real estate listings and crying the last couple of days. Oh, but wait. Clipped stairs, perhaps? Okay, sold. Don't care the price. $4,000 a month. Would you believe it? Well, I suppose we're continuing our journey through the night then. And to go back onto the line of thought from before, this really does feel like, well, those dreams I would have of wandering streets at night. Never anyone around, but always the sounds of cityscapes. And always dark and scary, feeling people watching me from the shadows, but no one ever showing themselves. It seems like we've got a police roadblock over here. And this is more or less the end of the road. Something that's always just like really weirded me out about these places is that sort of like blend of industrial, commercial, and residential. Which the SimCity player in me says, you can't do that. But here these places go doing it, and I don't like it one bit. Well, I sort of like it. It looks kind of cool. I don't know how it would feel to live here, but at the very least, I do appreciate how walkable cities are. I don't like the noise. I don't like the tons and tons of people. I like some people, but not that many. But the king thing, the one main argument in favor of city living, is the walkability. You simply cannot do that where I am. You need a car. And I don't drive, so that's quite a problem for me. I never really learned to skateboard either, and I know that these parks exist specifically so people won't do it on the sidewalks, but, you know, in a desolate city such as this, assuming it doesn't get any clearer by day, or assuming we only travel by night, it could be something to do. You know what? That's actually what I'm thinking. Get yourself a city with a high crime rate. Because if the police are always responding to something else, they're never responding to you. Guy with a skateboard is small potatoes compared to whatever gang shootout is happening across town, right? Then again, who needs real estate money when you have squatters' rights? Oh, it's a hole in the wall or something like it. I honestly thought in the shadows there was like somebody like crouched on the staircase. Now there's an image. Look at that. The interior of a dilapidated brick wall, but with the orange glow from the streetlights reflecting only inside the window panes. Or the window housing, rather. Hang on, let's get rid of our lamp for now. I can just imagine myself sitting by the window in a camping chair, breathing in that nightly urban air, and just kind of watching people in cars go by. Safe up here, probably string up some cans across the doorway in case somebody comes in. But other than that, there's a... Oh, I was just gonna say there's a roof over our head, but no, there isn't. Well, nonetheless, it would be a nice respite for a little while, a place to feel, paradoxically, a little bit safer than being out on the streets themselves. Now, I didn't forget about this gate over here. We never did come through this. Oh, we can't actually get through. Oop, we can jump over. All right. Oh, now this is my ticket out of here. Wait for daylight, come hang out here. Get in one little fight, and maybe my mom will send me to live with my aunt and uncle in Bel Air. But we've gotten through here. Now, what is there to be seen back here? Huh. I guess we could have just come through this alley right over here. And this just leads back around to here. Wasn't there something down this way? Something that we saw from the bridge? Just as fenced in from here, is it? Oop. Oh, but it's almost like that fence actually acts as a ladder. Is that actually how it works? Oh my god, it does! That is so cool! They've actually integrated fence hopping into the map. That is... bravo! I can't believe I haven't thought of that. But that does give us access to this empty little yard. Looks to be some kind of self-storage place. It's sitting rotting beside the highway, maybe totally abandoned now. Honestly, when I came to No Clip over here, my heart just stopped because I thought it was some kind of weird, like, hunched monster as I was flying past it. Oh my god, I need to go live in Bel Air. I deserve to go live in Bel Air. There's that abandoned house. I'm just kind of looking around now to see if there isn't anything else I might have missed. Any more interiors we might explore. I know there is an RP version of this that has more interiors. Can't tell if we can get in there. I don't think so, but look. This place actually has what essentially amounts to like a shared, lowered backyard. Now there's a cool thought. This would be an awesome hangout spot. I just love things that are just like sort of in amongst everyone and still in their own way, hidden away like this. I find that so cozy. Like you're depressed in the ground so you don't actually have to look at the traffic going by. And so it's kind of like you're in your own little world, even, well, intertwined with the rest. Here's something I want to know. What happens if I hop the platform and go try and explore these tunnels? We can't. Okay, what about the other one? I can sort of see the back from here. But what about that other? Invisible wall here as well? Well, what if we were to no-clip in? Okay, that's more than a little bit spooky. Every second we don't just hit like a black texture is quite a creepy moment. There we go. Honestly, I was wondering if this wouldn't be the kind of developer to just stick a jump scare as a punishment for no-clipping where we shouldn't go. Oh, we can actually jump up onto the roof from here. Okay, I think we were supposed to do this, because look, they've highlighted a ladder and everything. What does this get us? Just up to here, really. And honestly, even if it doesn't get us any more than this, I really do appreciate it as a map feature. And just because I'm the kind of person who in flat screen really does like just hopping on top of stuff. But there's a weird invisible wall right here. What's happening to me right now? This is so weird. Now that's sort of creepy, a window half buried in the ground. And an alleyway half buried in darkness. I've had dreams like this, too. But it seems that's probably about all there is to see. Not a very big map, but certainly an atmospheric one. And so realistic feeling, that's the weird thing. I mean, not necessarily in terms of, like, city planning, although there are places that are kind of like this. I don't know, something about the ambiance and the details and the lighting just makes it feel so familiar. It works in a way that it's hard to really explain beyond that, but it just does. But anyway, that was 2 ambient city maps. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try either of these maps out for yourself, those links will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, those links will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.